Reborn in World War II, infiltrating the Japanese military. I climbed 8 ranks of power, stopped Pearl Harbor, and changed the fate of the world. If you could go back in time, reborn into a Japanese military camp during the Second Sino-Japanese War, with full knowledge of the future, what's the first thing you would do? Not get rich. Not just survive. Only one mission: smash the Japanese militarist war machine from the inside, stop the Pearl Harbor attack, save millions of lives in the Pacific, and prevent the world from burning in endless war. We all know the real history. Pearl Harbor was never a desperate act of self-defense. It was a reckless gamble driven by fascist ambition. The moment the attack began, America entered World War II fully. The war spiraled out of control, tens of millions of innocent people died, and countless Asian nations suffered under brutal invasion. I'm just an ordinary man with a modern soul, reborn into the darkest, most brutal military system of World War II Japan. I will never be a war criminal's accomplice. I will be the undercover judge who buries militarism forever. This path has no glory, only 8 levels of purgatory. Each rank grows colder, lonelier, and deadlier. One wrong move, and I'm executed for treason, buried without a trace. Level 1 Private: hide and endure, survive, and wait for the chance. The year is 1939. I wake up in a strict Japanese army base, wearing a soldier's uniform. Everywhere I hear brainwashing slogans of loyalty to the emperor. Every comrade around me is completely poisoned by militarism. Military discipline is brutal: obey every order without question. Any doubt, and you're labeled a traitor and executed immediately. I carry 2 memories in my head: the trivial daily life of a rookie soldier, and the bloody future: the full-scale invasion of China after the Marco Polo Bridge incident, colonial plunder in Manchukuo, the evil Axis alliance, U.S. oil and steel embargoes, and the catastrophic Pearl Harbor attack set for December 7, 1941. I know everything, but I can say nothing. As a lowly private, I couldn't stop a national war plan even if I tried. One wrong word, and I'd be killed on the spot. I had no choice but to pretend, obey, and hide my anti-war heart deep inside. By day, I trained hard and acted like a loyal, obedient soldier. By night, I lay awake in the barracks, suffering in silence. I kept repeating Yamamoto Isoroku's crazy prophecy: war with America is inevitable. At the very start, we must annihilate the U.S. main fleet. I knew the U.S. had already cracked Japan's military codes and read most secret plans. One wrong move, and I'd die before changing anything. At this level, I didn't chase power or attention. I only did one thing: learn the system, confirm history, and lay my groundwork. I whispered to a comrade, "Do you think these secret drills are just for defense? What if American carrier fleets really show up?" No one cared. No one saw the coming disaster, only I knew: the war switch had already been turned on by militarists. I had to climb higher, to turn it off myself. Level 2 Corporal: trapped between factions, secretly delay the war machine. After enduring and climbing ranks, I became a corporal and transferred to an intelligence auxiliary unit. I finally stepped through the first crack of Japan's power system. On the surface, discipline was strict and everyone shouted loyalty to the empire. Behind the scenes, corruption was everywhere. Soldiers smuggled aircraft parts for profit. Officers protected their corrupt allies and bullied subordinates without mercy. I was stationed in the Guangdong Army headquarters, witnessing endless debates among Japanese leaders: invade South for Southeast Asian resources, or attack the Soviet Union North. Japan was running out of resources, but militarists only wanted to survive through invasion and plunder. In a military meeting, a general asked me directly, "In your opinion, should we launch war against America immediately? I dared not oppose openly, only hinted carefully, moving recklessly will bring a far stronger American response. We must think twice. He only scoffed, US military strength is weak. Just focus on the southern invasion. In that moment, I understood clearly, these war maniacs will never listen to reason. The only way to stop them is secret sabotage. Late at night on duty, I whispered to my only trusted friend, what if we send a subtle warning to the US? Let them prepare early and save thousands of lives. Is that wrong? He trembled in fear. Are you crazy? That's treason. Your whole family will be executed. My heart ached, and I asked him firmly, then letting countless innocent people die, is that real loyalty? At this level, I learned to compromise and disguise. I secretly delayed military drills and altered small logistics documents, slowing down the deadly war machine little by little. Level 3 Captain Staff Officer, enter the Corps War Planning, fight the conspiracy alone. Promoted to Captain and Senior Staff Officer, I finally entered Japan's tactical decision-making circle. I saw the initial Pearl Harbor attack plan with my own eyes. More power meant more corruption and heavier moral pain. High-ranking officers colluded with foreign businessmen, falsified battle reports, embezzled military supplies, and the entire military was rotten to the core. Yamamoto's carrier strike plan became a top priority. The deadly date December 7 was secretly finalized by the top brass. In preparation meetings, generals only celebrated imagined victory and ignored the catastrophic consequences. Staring at the Pearl Harbor map, I felt cold terror in my bones. I pretended to follow orders openly, but sabotaged secretly. I delayed warship oil supplies and aircraft equipment checks under the excuse of safety inspections, stalling the attack for hours, even minutes. I told my subordinates seriously, check carefully. Safety first, no rushing. Inside, I prayed, every day delayed meant more hope, more lives saved. Loneliness crushed me at this level. I carried the mission to save millions, but could never tell anyone the truth. I knew destruction was coming, yet I had to pretend to serve the madness. Alone in the war room at night, I whispered to the Pearl Harbor map, the fate of this land rests only on me. I cannot fail. Level 4 Major General, high rank power, create chaos, block the road to war. Becoming a Major General and Intelligence Chief, I officially entered the High Command, gaining real power to interfere in major military operations. By this time, Prime Minister Kono's cabinet was already controlled by the military. Militarism ruled Japan completely, and the Pearl Harbor attack countdown officially began. In a secret cabinet meeting, I faced a Navy admiral and tried to persuade him, this sneak attack has no safe plan. If we fail, our nation will be destroyed. He warned me sharply, military decisions are none of your business. Obey orders. With no way to oppose openly, I had to strike in secret. I deliberately messed up logistics schedules, delayed oil tanker departures, altered aircraft navigation settings, and changed refueling codes to keep attack squadrons grounded. Publicly, I shouted loyalty to the Empire. Privately, every order weakened the sneak attack. Late at night talking with an old advisor, I asked bitterly, this war will only destroy our country. What are we even fighting for? He sighed, morality means nothing in war. We have no choice but to obey. I finally realized, in the militarist vortex, you are either an executioner or a traitor. There is no middle path. Level 5 Lieutenant General, Corps Decision Maker, send secret warnings, walk a tightrope. Promoted to Lieutenant General and Corps member of the Imperial Japanese Army General Staff, I stood at the center of national decision-making, able to meet the emperor's advisors and participate in supreme national policy meetings. After Japan occupied French Indochina and expanded colonial aggression, the U.S. knew war was inevitable. Only Pearl Harbor remained as the final trigger. I no longer only relied on delays. I took bolder action, secretly sent hidden warnings to British and U.S. intelligence, leaking Japan's sneak attack plans. I demanded endless extra military exercises to postpone the war opening date. I urged repeatedly in military meetings, war will only drag us into endless disaster. Top leaders ignored me completely. Once the war machine starts, no one dares to stop it. At this level, danger reached its peak. One mistake meant execution for treason. One hesitation meant millions of deaths. I had to compromise with corrupt politics just to keep my chance to save lives. Loneliness settled deep in my soul. No one knew my true purpose. To the military, I was a loyal general. In truth, I was the only lone warrior rewriting history. Level 6 Top Military Minister, control national policy, alter secret orders, fight the entire militarist system. As Chief of Staff and Top Military Minister, I was one of Japan's most powerful men, able to shape national strategy with a single word. December 7th was approaching fast. Warplanes were ready, fleets assembled. Only one final order was needed to start the Pearl Harbor massacre. I had no choice but to confront the entire militarist regime head-on. I met the emperor's close advisors and begged for a delay. I ordered telegraphers to alter combat time zones, making bomber squadrons misread attack schedules. I rerouted main fleets to wrong refueling points, disrupting the entire sneak attack deployment. I secretly sent the Prime Minister a secret report: U.S. aircraft carriers were not in Pearl Harbor. The attack would fail and bring terrible retaliation. Every move I made was risking execution for rebellion. Standing alone on the command tower, watching ready warplanes, I thought heavily, I am not fighting one man. I am fighting an entire crazy national war machine. Level 7 Imperial Supreme Commander, peak of power, final gamble, stop the war forever. As the top imperial commander with royal family backing, I reached the mythic highest rank of Japanese military power. All troops obeyed my every command without question. The Pearl Harbor strike was ready to launch, only one final command away from changing world history forever. The Emperor called personally to ask about the attack progress. I answered calmly, but my heart was in chaos. I held supreme power, and supreme loneliness. All anti-war voices had been purged. No one could share my burden. I played my final cards, ordering frontline generals to delay the attack, recalling attack squadrons under the excuse of strategic adjustment, pressing the pause button on World War II's deadliest battle. Success meant changing history. Failure meant death and disgrace. Level 8 Hidden God of Fate, disaster averted, history rewritten, eternal loneliness remains. Climbing all 8 power levels, never making a single fatal mistake, I fought all the way to the end. Finally, the Pearl Harbor attack plan was completely cancelled and abandoned. No brutal air raids, no destroyed fleets, no full-scale Pacific War. Millions of lives were saved. World War II's worst escalation was stopped before it began. I became the man who changed world history and the loneliest man alive. Militarists called me a traitor. Allied forces saw me as an unknown variable. No one understood my sacrifices and choices. I asked myself, am I a savior, or a destroyer? There was no answer, only the final result. War may be paused, but ambition never disappears. I finally learned the truth: war never truly ends. It only changes its form. Only remembering history and upholding justice can stop future disasters. Reborn in World War II, I defied fate and stopped Pearl Harbor. I saved millions of lives and defended the justice of history.